Hello guys, welcome. So we're going to get started. I know you guys are busy. We really appreciate you guys coming out. We're going to go over a few important points for you guys to get to know a little bit more about our company. But first I'd like to introduce our team. Lauren's going to do a little intro here, so takes a second.
Hello. Testing? Okay.
There you go.
Great. Welcome, everybody. My name is Lauren Robles, and I am the president of Investnautics. Thank you all for joining us. I just wanted to share our vision. Our vision is to redefine real estate investments with integrity through innovation and cutting-edge technology, which we will be sharing with you this afternoon, while building lasting relationships. And we refer to that as the art of the deal. So, excuse me. So Tony Diaz, he is our CEO. And when I was preparing for this afternoon, I took each team member individually, and a few characteristics were common throughout our team. That was versatile, loyal, committed, dedicated, and hardworking. So I'm very grateful for the team that I have, but I wanted to set everyone apart besides just their title. So although Tony is our CEO, he's also the creative mind, he's the artist, and he is truly passionate about what he does.
Thank you.
Sergio, would you please stand up, is our acquisition manager. He is extremely competitive,
yes,
but also very kind and a very positive person. So if you've had the pleasure of working with Sergio, I'm sure you'd agree. Steve Medina is also an acquisition manager. He is persistent, yet not pushy. And he's humble, yet very confident. So he's a great member of our team. Matt, where are you, Matt? Matt Mabry is a cool guy. He is extremely bold and very easygoing. Lenny is the newest addition to our team, also an acquisition. Lenny exudes joy and confidence. He's genuine and a true pleasure. Liz is our investor relations. She's not with us today, but she is very fierce, true, authentic, and extremely witty. So if you have the pleasure of dealing with her, she will definitely make you laugh. John Winters is the most seasoned of our team members. He's very funny, he's analytical and extremely helpful. He works behind the scenes. He's our analyst and appraiser, so he helps us with our evaluations. And my dear Mona. I guess formerly she'd be my assistant, but she's just so much more than that. She always welcomes with a smile, whether you come through the doors or through the phone. She's quite an achiever. She tries the hardest, and she's just got a great maternalness about her. And I don't want to forget Hector, who's behind the lens. He works tirelessly. He's such a delight, and he is extremely selfless. He basically fills in all the holes. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Hello. Okay. So, as Lauren said, we have an amazing team. We've been in the business. I've been in the business 23 years, and it's taken a long time to put this team together. Through just different types of personalities, all the way through having to get rid of some people and replacing. We have an amazing team, and that's the reason we're here. So, guys, thank you so much. And if you guys had the pleasure to work with some of us, I'm sure you guys will also agree that we do have great teams. So I'm going to show you guys a little video about the company. I don't know if you guys seen it or not. This is on our Facebook and also on our website. So this is another video we created, so give you guys a little different perspective. So.
As you know, there are many flip investors, but none like Investnotic. Our first and most important focus is to create mutually beneficial relationships and give brokers and agents the opportunity to make more money faster when working with Investnotic.
I referred a flip project to Investnotic in a high-profile neighborhood, and I was very impressed to see the amount of research they do to learn more about the potential buyers.
Our Double N Plus program, guaranteed closings, and the ability to make quick and accurate decisions using our proprietary cutting-edge technology makes Investnotic your go-to flip investor when you have a listing that is a fixer-upper.
So what's in it for you? With Investnotic's Double N Plus program, we will relist every property we buy from you. This means you double in your listing. Investnotic will strategically rehab the property and will give you back the listing. That's like doing 3 transactions with 1 listing.
Investnotic, they do their homework in the beginning before making an offer, and if they make the offer, rest assured you're going to close escrow. So I would say reliable is the key word for them. They have a structure and a procedure for every aspect of the transaction. They have a department that handles the rehab. They already know exactly how much it's going to cost before they make the offer, so they're very organized. I think that's a really important aspect you need to buy and sell property nowadays. If we don't close after we remove our contingencies due to buyer's fault, we will pay your commissions regardless. Visit our website for more details.
All we ask for is an opportunity to prove Investnotic can close your next fixer. Closing deals and building relationships is our business.
You know, I would tell agents that there's opportunities in every single market, good or bad. You got to figure out what those opportunities are, but more importantly, you got to have a right team supporting you. And Investnotic is a great team to work with. I would definitely refer Investnotic to other professionals because at the end of the day, you want to work with a group of professionals that they know what they're doing, and at the end of the day, you're going to get the deal closed. So yes, that's
Call us today to learn more about our Double N Plus program, our closing guarantees, and our cutting-edge technology that makes Investnotic your go-to flip investor.
Thanks. That was one of our first videos, and we had a little bit of technical difficulties on the acting part, so excuse that part of it. But we're working on it. All right, guys, so the agenda for today, like I said, I know you guys are busy. We'll get you out of here as quick as possible. So has everybody ordered lunch? Okay, perfect. So we'll get into the about us, some of that technology. Sergio's going to present that, goals for 2017. What's in it for you guys? We talked a little bit about that. And also, as you guys know, we are giving $5,000 away for marketing. We're creating relationships. And we'll get into some of those details and how we're going to pick the winner for that as well. So go ahead and, okay. So Lauren had already gone over the mission of the company. As I said, we've been in the business for a long, long time. I've been fixing properties. Everybody in the team, it's either a broker, an appraiser. We all have a lot of experience, and we do our homework in the beginning. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a video here, and I'll tell you guys about the property. Part of being able to be efficient is you create a system, and that system means that you're able to put out a product that's consistent not only in cost and quality, and we don't reinvent the wheel. The flips get a little boring, and what I mean by that is that it's the same thing over and over, but we are putting out a very good quality product that is selling well according to the price point and the market. So this is one of our rehabs we did here off of Euclid Avenue in Upland. A very, very typical type of house. Deferred maintenance, everything needed to go. Obviously the colors were a little outdated as well, and you'll see that. We do stage most of our houses, so obviously that helps a lot. This particular property had about $10,000 worth of landscaping in the backyard. It had almost half an acre lot, and it was just a mess. So we gutted the whole thing, and now you can see it's a lot cleaner, a lot more functional. Put all the sprinklers, put a nice little veggie garden there, which people really appreciate things like that. So at the end of the day, you have a family who's walking into a house that's just absolutely awesome. So if you have a listing that needs work, that fits the flip parameters, we grab it, make it really, really nice for you guys, and then that's a listing you guys can help us resell. So that's a very typical type of property. Our price range goes between the $300,000 up to about $1 million. That's our comfort zone, but we also have done some pretty high-end stuff as well, so we're pretty open to those margins. So we'll get into now the technology. So I'm going to have Sergio talk about our amazing technology, a little bit about the relationships and how we work with you guys and how we keep the transparency so you guys know what's going on and understand our numbers, and how we make offers and have you guys represent us. So this is Mr. Sergio.
Thank you. Do I need the mic, or can everybody hear me back there? I think you're fine. Good? Okay. I'll give that back to you, Tony. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of the system. We call it the beast or the matrix, and once you get into it, you can get lost in there. It has a lot of sides to it that helps us not only find the property, keep track of it, but the rehab part of it, scope of work. So it can go on. I've done 2-day trainings where I've covered probably about 80%, 2 full days. So I'm going to do the 10 to 15 minute. Tony, if you can
give me a timer
on that, because I'll keep talking all day about the system. So I'll give you guys the quick overview on it to let you guys know what we do, how we do it, how we're looking at properties, evaluating and such. So the system has a basic IDX feed. So anything that hits the MLS, it hits our system by the minute. We get these alerts here, and I don't know if you heard the cha-ching sound. So Tony actually programmed it to when the alert hit, it makes a cha-ching sound, so it gets all our attention to see what has hit. And basically we're going in here and looking at what is on the market as of right now that fits our parameters. So our guys, my acquisition guys, they're trained to look at these information bars and go, okay, what looks like a deal based on this? Once we say, hey, this one looks interesting, it's a good price point, it's a standard sale, we look at the specifics of the property, we then click on it, and it opens up modules of that property. And again, this is all MLS data, so it's everything you guys enter, pictures, comments, it's all in there. And then we start our evaluation process. So the first module is the PIQ, property in question. Again, it gives me the information bar, days on market, lot size, garage, all the basics. An ARV, so it's pulling comps and saying, hey, this property based on the comps versus the list price, this is what the ARV looks like. So our job is to go in here and dissect the comps and say, okay, these are good comps, get rid of them, or no, these are not good comps, apples to our oranges, and we start dissecting the properties from here. So again, it gives us the pictures, comments, right when we see investors alike, boom, that gets our ears perked up. It tells us, what type of property, when the file is open, so for internal purposes, everything is tracked with the time stamp, date stamp, and all that. We can look at the pictures, see what's going on, see if this really fits our parameters, and we start our job, basically.
Really quick, Sergio. The system, as Sergio said, is connected to the MLS. If you can see here, the property actually was created 4 minutes before we got it. So the second the agent updates the property, puts in the MLS, we comped it, we valued it, so we know it. We see it very, very quickly, so we get to properties very, very fast. Go ahead.
The second module, once we determine that this is a good fit, is the comps module. And again, this is where we make our money. This is where we start dissecting all the comps. So it gives us our map view, satellite view. This is really important when we start looking for things that are of obsolescence, railroad tracks, busy streets, schools, anything that we see that could be an obsolescence to the value. This is where we start dissecting everything and seeing what we have. If it has a pool, is it empty, does it look green? That raises flags of the equipment, do we need to replaster? So as we're going through all these checklists, we're starting to put our rehab number together. It has your filters just like MLS. You can sort by close price, distance. It has a heat map. You can select more sales types, distance, square footage, your build. So all your basic filters, and then we can get really creative and start getting a little bit more precise with lot sizes, prices, closing dates, and so forth and so on. So we can get really creative on what we're looking for and dissect these properties down to a T. So along with that, we have John, like we mentioned, who is our analyst. So if we need a little bit more heavy lifting, we send him the property. He starts looking at tax. He starts looking at the county website, city website, to see if there's any permits on file. A lot of cities are going towards that now, so we can pull a lot of data from them and give it to us so we can, again, make a good determination. We can look at the list view, which is basically every comp that's up there. We have actives, backups, pending, sold, and again, we start looking at what is an apple to our apple, get rid of the oranges. If we want to look at a specific comp, it gives us that comp a little bit more in detail with the pictures, so we can say, hey, this one is a good comp, they flipped it, we can compete with it, square footage is the same, so this is a good comp. We can go in here and go, okay, this was a flip, and it's a model match, if it was. So we start tagging stuff. Gives us when it's sold, days on market, all the obvious pertinent information that we need to know. It gives us a little bit about the property as far as what they put into it, if they put AC. So again, it gives us a lot of data that we can use to start comping our own properties. And it gives your matrices, like everything else, active, your days on market averages, active, pending sales, backups, closed. It gives us all those averages, days on market. So again, we use all this data to start determining what this property is worth. Once we get all that information, there's a little checklist that we put together. This is all the big ticket items, so all the red flags, right? Unpermitted addition. If we see something that from the aerial or the agent tells us, hey, there's a unpermitted addition or an addition, we don't know if it's permitted or not. We kind of flag that and start looking at that a little closer. Anything that's big ticket, septic, septic, can cost you anywhere from $7 to $14 grand. We do it the hard way. Pools,
Many times.
Pools, do they need all the equipment? Do they need the replastering? That can get costly as well. So again, big ticket items we put in there. Once we determine our cost, our ARV, this is where we start putting all the numbers that we then obviously send to you guys. Once we determine the ARV, our seller cost, so this is the commission on the back end, we can play with that number, and then what the rehab is, based on what we're seeing, the square footage, your built, and if we want to take the guesswork out of it, we have this little calculator that once we select the finished quality type, we can go A, B, C, or custom. Once we select that, we start picking, okay, garage door, trash house, if it's a hoarder house. Obviously it's not going to be a light trash out, it's going to be a major trash out, and you see the difference in the numbers start affecting our rehab costs. Landscape, windows, pool, roof, rewiring the house, the demo of it, moving a wall, permitted, non-permitted, all that's taken into consideration when we're looking at this. Even removing popcorn, because we learned that our contractors say, hey, this was more work, it had a thick layer of popcorn, it wasn't just a scrape time, we got to really get in there, now we got to re-drywall the ceiling. So all these things from, I guess, learning the hard way, we put into this calculator to get us that accurate number. If we want to add some square footage, if we want to add a bath to the existing square footage, all that's taken into consideration. So you see here it gives us a total of what the calculator is telling us. So now we match that with what we know of the property, the pictures, and we start putting our numbers together. We chase a 12% ROI. So it's as simple as putting in our 12% target, calculated, and the system will tell us what we can pay for this property. Okay, so that's where we start the negotiations. Obviously, there's some variables. We've got to get out to the property. We've got to look at it. Plumbing, maybe we can attest to that. We had some foundation issues once we walked the property and we saw the floor going like this. Those old houses, we had some plumbing issues. So these are things that once we get out there, we can look and determine, okay, we need to get another inspector, a specialist, foundation guy out there and make sure that we don't have any serious issues. Once we determine that, then offer terms. We have preset for short sales, standards, and everything's preset. Our buying entity, that's all preset templates, so it gives us all our terms here. We can play with those if we want to go more aggressive, depending on the seller. Closing date is anywhere from 10 to 15 days, 30, 40 if we need to extend it. And then we have a library of all the documents that we can attach to this template. So when you guys get an email from us, it'll be everything you need to write up the contract, including the articles, including the proof of funds, everything you need. So we'll make it nice and easy for you guys to have everything you need from us to write up those offers. Then it gives us a little bit of an agent profile and information, cell phone. We add you guys to our CRM, and then we can really cyber stalk you guys and do all kinds of fun stuff, reaching out to you guys. That's how you do.
Thank you.
So again, efficiency is the key for us. We have templates in here that we have preset that we can create any type of template and send to the agents, text as well. We can make phone calls through the system. So it's all about, again, being that first call to say, hey, we saw this property, we like it, we want to go after it. A lot of bells and whistles in here. Notes, we're big on notes. Everything that we do internally, we communicate through the notes section. And we have reminders, we have different evaluation tools that we can send internally to our team. So it does a whole lot of other fun stuff that we can, again, sit here for a couple hours and go through the whole system. So in a nutshell, that's the beast, that's the matrix that we live in every day. And again, these properties are coming, so there's tons of stuff to look at. And then obviously, if you guys send us anything, we can also pull it up by the MLS address. If it's off market, then we can manually input it. Any type of short sales, again, not on the market, we can input it, and it'll give us the same type of modules. The only difference is we won't have any of the pictures or any of the public comments from MLS, because obviously it's not on MLS. So, in a nutshell, that's our system, our baby. We like to show it off anytime we get a chance. So. Any questions?
Questions on the system? Yes, sir.
Who's designing software?
Little CD. Thank you. So one of the things for you guys to know, as Sergio's saying, we get to see a lot of stuff in the market, but there's nothing more important than relationships. That's why you guys are here. The people that we work with for a long time, they bring us deals. Most of the time, they're utilizing short sales, or they're going after short sales. They give us an opportunity to go look at the property, create a case for the bank. We'll give them a bid, give them an offer. We're very fair. We understand that if the property doesn't need anything, the bank's not going to accept our offer that within the ranges that we need to. So in most cases, we'll tell you guys, listen, we can't help you. We don't want to open an escrow. We want to close them. So we also do appraisals and things like that on our dime. So having relationships with investors like us that can help you on short sales, especially if they need work, it's an opportunity for you guys to double on the property and for us to pick up a good listing, fix it, and then if the affidavit doesn't prevent us from giving you the listing back, then we can put that property back in the market. So probates, as you guys know, those are always out there. And there's other types of properties where the sellers need to move very, very quickly. We have 2 big lines of credit. What we do is we buy the properties cash, and then we refund or replenish our funds. We have 2 $10 million lines, and as you guys know, it's getting a little bit more competitive. Right now, we're using one line. We've been up to $25 million at one time. We had 153 houses going, a lot of fun. And so we're very capable of being able to purchase anything that makes sense. So as you're bringing us opportunities, and as you guys know, the short sales seem to be coming back fairly strong, it's a great tool to know that we can help you guys out and present a common sense approach on a listing, not just a crazy bid that's not going to make sense to the bank. As you guys saw through the technology, we itemize everything. It's very detailed, and we can back up not only our bids but also our appraisals as well. So, any other items in there?
Transparency?
Yeah, go ahead.
Transparency is huge for us. So what we mean by that is we get a lot of agents saying, hey, I got this property, check it out. Michelle, she's one of my agents that I work with, and she sends me stuff, and a lot of times I tell her, hey, Michelle, this has already been looked at by one of my guys. What I like to do is snip the timestamp that if one of my guys clicked on it, it's all there, because I don't want, last thing I want is an agent to say, hey, I'm sending you stuff, but you're saying you already looked at it, right? So transparency is huge for us, so that's what I train my guys to do is go, hey, show them the timestamp, show them when we opened it. That way there's no, hey, I'm sending you stuff and you're just going directly to the agent. We don't mind dealing with buyer's agents, you guys being our buyer's agents, if it's not your listing. So I get a lot of that as, hey, it's not my listing, can I still write it up for you? Definitely. Definitely you guys can. We'll send you guys the terms, we'll send you guys all the information, and you guys represent us. You know, I'd like you guys to make the 6%, 5%, but 3 or 2.5 is better than nothing. So definitely, we're open to that. And again, if you send something and we say, hey, we already looked at it, we can back it up with the data and timestamp, date stamp, to say, hey, we got it already. One of our guys. So you saw it coming in. It comes in by the minute. So our guys they're hot on it. So most of the time they've already looked at it, but there are those that we don't get everything. So definitely don't want to discourage that. Okay. Anything else, sir?
That's it.
Good.
Any questions? Okay. Yes, sir.
You mentioned something. What happens? You guys look at everything as it comes. Do you look at it as if it's? How do you catch them if they're about to fall out of escrow? Obviously, that would be information that the agents would only have, right?
Right. So in most cases, we actually keep track of everything that's coming back in the market. Back in the market price change and new listings are the ones that we're evaluating every minute. Anything that is, for example, an escrow that we are chasing, we're going to be following the process that the system is going to allow the offer negotiator to actually continue to follow up to make sure that it's not going to fall through. So it's a relationship, but if you're talking outside properties, that's where the relationship comes in. If you have an agent that says, hey, listen, my investor is not going to perform, give us a call. We'll come right up, and before you know that your transaction is lost, we'll come in and save the day. So we've done that with Megan recently, so we helped her out on a property in Upland, so worked out well. So our goal this year, guys, we average about 100 transactions a year. As I said, we can do a lot more. It's just the market's very competitive. At one time, we were doing about 300 a year when we're working with the nonprofits through the Neighborhood Stabilization Plan program. That's actually the birth of this technology, was out of necessity. And we're just being force-fed properties by the bank. So we have a lot of capability. As I said in the beginning, the strategic partnerships are everything for us. As you guys get to know us, I know a lot of you guys get our emails, but how do you know the difference between us and somebody else? How do you know that we're going to perform? How do you know that we're not going to go out and put you in a situation where there's going to be a problem and we make you look bad with the seller? So what we do is we, as part of the transparency, we'll tell you guys, we're doing our homework. We're going to go out and find out as much as we can on the property. Sometimes we have to come back and ask for a price reduction. It happens based on the conditions, but we'll let you guys know. It's not going to be something we say, hey, don't worry, it's closed tomorrow. Just go cash your check, and then we're going to pull the rug from you guys. What happens is we look bad, you look bad, you're never going to call us again. So the relationship for us, the transparency, not only for what we do, how we look at the numbers is really, really important. And sometimes it's difficult to be able to go out and give you a commitment if we're not able to see the property. Sometimes the properties, the reality, guys, it's paint and carpet. I mean, it's drywall, it's paint, it's bathrooms. It's all really easy to do. If you're getting into foundations, that's a different issue. We need to make sure we understand what we're doing. Sewers, septics, things like that. That's where we need a little bit of time. We do get out there very quickly, but ultimately we want to make sure we understand. And we're not doing this for practice. Every possible mistake you think that you can do as an investor, we've done it at least 3 times over the years. And that's why we have a machine that keeps track of everything. So not very many things fall through the cracks there. So I'll talk a little bit about the closing guarantee. That's if we release our contingencies. And if we don't close for whatever reason, we will pay you and the listing agent the commission. If you're both, we will pay you guys the commission. It's in black and white. It goes through with our offer. We never have to pay one because we always close. But it's something, if you guys haven't worked for us and you know our contingencies are gone, we're guaranteeing that commission. So our attorneys drafted a contract that you guys can pass it to your broker. It makes sense. It's no tricks other than, hey, we don't close. You're going to get paid after we remove our contingencies. We're very fast to the properties. Typical 3 days. If you have something that needs to go faster, we can even walk in with no contingencies as long as the property doesn't have, monsters under the foundation and things like that. We're fairly fast on that end. So, any questions on the closing guarantee? Strategic partnerships? No? Okay. Yes, we got it here. Okay. We talked about why choose Investnautic. I kind of got ahead of myself, so I talked about the transparency. For us, integrity. That's part of our mission. If we're burning you guys know how quick communication and gossip, Facebook, all that fun stuff goes. We are not perfect. Sometimes we do make mistakes, but we also have closed properties that we shouldn't. We could have walked away from, but we bought just to keep that relationship. So for us, the relationships is very, very important, and the communication part. So we'll ask you the right questions, you communicate back and forth, and we'll keep that. That'll work. We're very creative. That means that if we have to go out and stop a short sale and put money in escrow, we've done it. It gets sticky, puts us in a very difficult situation, but we've done it. We're very, very creative. There's ways for us to always come up with fun, intelligent or great way to make something happen. But there's also fairness. We understand you have to protect your client. We're not here to steal anything. It's for us, we have a margin. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you guys, there's other investors out there. They sometimes are hold investors that can pay a little bit more. We also have partnerships with other investors. So it's not just us that are buying. We've created relationships with other smaller investors that come to us for inventory, and we buy the property under our name, use our big lines of credit that are fairly inexpensive, and we create relationships all the way from my brother-in-law, who does that with us, to about a handful of really good smaller investors that are willing to take down properties that might not fit for us. So when you're selling to us, it's not just us. It's about 7 to 8 smaller investors that we partner with, that we've been doing this for about 5 years. Especially back in the NSP, Neighborhood Stabilization Plan, there's no way for us to take down that many. So those relationships have been there. So if we're saying we're going to close, we're definitely going to close. So go ahead and jump to the next one. So what's in it for you guys, right? We're here for a nice new lunch, meet new people, but ultimately we're here also to do business. The Double N Plus program. For you guys, if you have a good listing, it's a quick, hassle-free access closing. No termite. You don't need to clean it up. I don't know if you guys seen some of my videos when I'm walking through hoarder houses, and I get to go through a lot of fun stuff. We'll take the trash. We don't like to take tenants, but we will in some cases. And depending on the situation and what information we have about them, and we'll work with you guys. Again, we're very creative in that way. Plus, again, our closing guarantee. So bottom line, your deal will close, and it will close on time. So that's why we believe that we don't want to be the biggest, we want to be the best, and we're getting there. So we're very excited about this year as well. What you got? Okay. So one of the things that we've done, we started going after seller direct leads. We started putting a lot of money into going to try to catch that seller first. As you guys know, home investors, we work with a lot of those guys. They have a huge marketing dollar, and they're getting a lot of really good deals. They're going directly to the homeowners. They're offering them quick cash. They're paying about 65 cents on the dollar. For us, we're paying about 75 cents on the dollar when we're acquiring properties. So what we realized from a strategic perspective that it makes more sense for us to work with you guys, since you guys have a lot more reach than we do as an individual company. And what we're going to do is we're not only going to give away $5,000 for somebody, we're going to pull a card, but the goal is to sit down with you guys individually. Everybody here is handpicked. You guys do very good business. You guys are the top of the food chain. And we want to sit down with you guys and figure out how we can invest into what you guys are doing. If you guys are going after short sales, we are working with a few agents that are killing it for us. They're picking us up about 2 transactions. They have a team. They put together a little structure. We invest money. We help them go out and pay for people to knock on doors. And they're picking up a lot of inventory. If the property doesn't fit for us, which in most cases it won't, they get the listing. So it's a win-win for everybody, and that's what we're looking for you guys. Ultimately, like I said, the $5,000 is a great way for us to go out and put a little bit of money out there, create a nice way to get the ball rolling. But if you guys already have systems, if it's working for you guys, we want to sit down. Your acquisition manager, you guys are assigned to an individual, and give them a call. Let's sit down. We'll go out. We'll have another nice steak dinner or something. We'll come up with a plan, and that's really why we're here. That's why we invited you guys. That's really the value out of all the most important thing we have to get out today. So we're going to give away tomorrow. It's called Cinco Mil de Mayo, and we're going to use the social media. We're going to put it live on Facebook. I think I screwed up 2 of those things pretty bad already, so we'll try to get. So we'll do it live. So make sure that you guys are friends on Facebook. We're putting everybody's card in there. We're going to rotate it, and I'm going to have my beautiful little 1-year-old daughter pull the card, and hopefully you guys win. And well, one of you guys is going to win, but we're excited about creating the separate relationships. We talked about the co-branding and then the individual marketing. So that's it, guys. We had a room of 70 people on Tuesday. We had a lot of really, really good questions. People were really engaged. So right now, what I like to do is open up to questions. I had some really good, hard questions, so I like those. Those are always fun. Keep me on my toes. And a lot of questions of people saying, hey, what do I need to do? What value do I bring to you guys, and what value do you guys bring to us? So those are the questions I want to make sure that we covered. If there's something that you guys are not quite sure about, please ask away. We're going to end up just finish up with the questions and answers, and then you guys can eat your lunch and hang around for a little bit. Everybody here is top producer, so definitely some mingling would be good. So. Who has got the first question? Yes, sir.
Are you interested in probate sales subject to court confirmation?
Absolutely, and as you know, if it's subject to, a lot of times you can get outbid, but at least get you a placeholder. Absolutely, we'll get in there, we'll make our bid, and we'll work. We're actually going after attorneys as well. And the way that we go after attorneys is we actually pair up attorneys with the realtors that we're working with, so because it's hard to manage all those type of relationships. So if you say, hey, listen, I want to work with attorneys, we'll go with you, meet with attorneys, buy them lunch, make sure that you're not just an agent saying, hey, I got investors. We'll back you up in that way, and it's a great way to build relationships. It's a win-win. So, good question.
What's the target ROI?
Good question. Target ROI. So we're doing 12%. It's fairly thin. It's a low margin, and we're doing it in volume. So 12% means that for every dollar I invest, I'm looking for a 12% return. If it's $100,000 total development cost, I'm paying $80,000 for the house, $20,000 to repair, My total development cost is $100,000. We're grossing $12,000. So they're thin margins. So obviously if it's $500,000, it's a little bit more, obviously more risk. But our typical rehabs are about 142 days from start to finish, from close to close. So we move fairly fast.
I was expecting somebody else to. What's the real selfish question, of course? What's the commission you pay back to relist the property?
So the double N plus program, as we call it, the question is, what is the commission we pay back? Depending on the property, sometimes we get properties that are really, really thin, guys, and what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, what do you think we can sell the property? We have our internal value, right? We have to be somewhat conservative but realistic to the market, right? We're going to list it at a price that's going to move, not overprice it and then just sit there because nobody's going to win. And then what we do is we say, this is what we need. This is our bottom line. And then from there, we'll bring you up to all the way to a 3%. So what that means is that if the property, if I need to sell for $100,000 to hit my 12,